How are you supposed to split the difference with some bad guy who's got 4 hostages, he wants a jet to Cuba and $1 million? You say, all right, we'll take 2 hostages, we'll give you a helicopter to New Jersey, and you take an Uber from there.
Everything is a negotiation. And Chris Voss is about as qualified as it gets to teach us how to improve.
Chris Voss, retired FBI special agent.
In his book, Never Split the Difference, Chris posed 2 questions to ask in every negotiation. How do I discover what's motivating them? And how do I give them the illusion that they are in control? Here are the tools, techniques, and mindset to answer these questions. You guys won the negotiation to start these book reviews, so let's do this.
I was an FBI hostage negotiator. Don't let just terrorists and bank robbers be the beneficiary of this transformative skill. And never split the difference.
Discovering their motivations relies on empathy and rapport. Chris provided some brilliant approaches to cultivating this environment, so let's get into them. Mirroring is the art of insinuating similarity. We repeat the last 3 to 5 words of their sentence, inviting them to elaborate further on it.
You know, that's why the mirrors are the great bail out of the corner tool. Somebody's not on the same sheet of music. It's either you or it's them. A quick mirror always causes people to restate it another way.
We've been able to get a handle on the owners of all the vehicles out here, except this one in particular. Do you know anything about it?
Well, other vehicles not out there because you guys chased my driver away.
We chased your driver away?
Well, when he seen the police, he cut.
Labeling is a powerful way to acknowledge emotions without appearing confrontational. And it validates that you understand the perspective that they're coming from. After the label, pause. They will fill the silence, building more detail as to why they feel this way. Labels usually look like this.
It seems like you have a reason for not doing, and then whatever it is that they didn't do, X, Y, perform, finish the contract, finish the work.
The accusation audit involves listing the worst things that the other party could possibly say about you, saying them before the other person can, and it allows you to then stop these negative dynamics before they take root. Whilst labeling focuses on how you view your counterpart, the audit targets how they may view you.
Empathy is just describing and demonstrating an understanding of the needs, interests, and perspective of your counterpart without necessarily agreeing.
There's nothing worse than people who ask a question then don't listen to the reply. A few gems that I picked up from this book for listening during negotiations were: don't get wrapped up in the other side's position, i.e. what they're asking for, but instead focus on their interests, so why are they asking for it? In medicine, my favourite tool to show a patient that I've been listening is a summary. Summarise what they've said back to them. Chris says that to evaluate whether you've done this well, you need to look for the response, "That's right."
How do you get a "that's right"? You gotta summarize their perspective.
So summarising what we've had so far may look like this. To uncover our counterparts' motivations, we can use mirroring, labelling, and accusation audits. They allow us to build rapport. As it builds, we need to separate the person from the problem, focusing on why they are here rather than what they are asking for. If you were to give me that summary, I'd say, yeah, that's about right.
And I'd tell them what to do and they wouldn't do it. So then I'd walk in, I'd say, you're in charge, now do this. And they go, okay. But somebody's determined to be powerful or be in charge, make them feel powerful and in charge, create that emotional moment, you can have your way with them.
In the past, when I imagined a successful negotiator, I'd picture this dominating presence overpowering their counterpart with better arguments and reasoning. This book massively changed my perspective.
Secret to gaining the upper hand in a negotiation is giving the other side the illusion of control. If you're a control-oriented negotiator, I got you.
When we're unsure or uncomfortable, we gravitate towards no. When a telephone salesman calls and says, "Do you have a free moment?" my answer's usually the same. Absolutely not. Chris uses this to his advantage though. He phrases the question so that no moves the conversation in the direction that he wants. The telephone salesman could rephrase to, "Is now a bad time to talk?" When somebody makes an offer that you just doesn't even come near to what you wanted, how do you respond? No is what you'd like to say, but that probably won't end well. This is where calibrated questions can help you out. The main one that Chris discusses is, how am I supposed to do that? These questions work because instead of providing 15 reasons why their offer is just unreasonable, you allow them to come to this realization themselves.
It forces the other side to take a good, empathic look at your situation. Now, what happens if they turn around and say, well, that's your problem? Will they put it right back on you? They're telling you they're not interested in showing you any empathy. That's an interesting clue that maybe you don't want to do business with them.
7% of a message is based on the words, while 38% comes from tone of voice and 55% from the speaker's body language and face. This rule is more about understanding control rather than providing it to them. Read all of the signs and look for inconsistencies between the messages from each of these three modalities. If your counterpart isn't comfortable or is lying, there may be a disconnect between their body language and their words. So why read this book if you've just read many of the skills that he teaches in it? The stories.
It was a siege in a major city in the US. A bad guy was on a run for 10 days after having murdered 4 people.
Chris Voss's stories from hostage negotiations allow you to see how these tools and techniques are used to de-escalate high-pressure situations and ultimately save lives. Through seeing them in context, it helps you to remember them and to see how you could apply them to your everyday life.
To the bad, the mad, and the sad we run into in our jobs, in our social interactions, at our family gatherings.
Thanks very much for watching. I hope you can use these skills to get what you want from your everyday negotiations. I've just got one more question for you. Is now a bad time to subscribe?